Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Perez. Once again here at Santiago Cigar Factory. Once again joined by Little G. How y'all doing? How's it going tonight? Tonight we're going to be talking about tobacco. The wrapper itself is a pretty widely used wrapper. A lot of companies use it. It's the Criollo 98 wrapper. It's a relatively old tobacco. Criollo itself has known to be used since the times of Columbus. The term Criollo stands for native seed, and it was used quite a bit in Cuban cigars, back in the day. And they used it for a lot of things in Cuban cigars. It was a wrapper. It's been known to be a binder. It's been known to be a filler. With the implementation of the Criollo wrapper, Criollo was kind of relegated to being a filler. But then it was discovered that if it was grown underneath shade, kind of like the Connecticut we talked about last week, that it was actually an excellent wrapper. Criollo 98 was grown and developed to replace the Habano 2000 wrapper, which was being so widely used that it was starting to lose flavor. And the Criollo 98 was developed to take over, basically, that and the Criollo 99 wrapper. And the good thing about the Criollo 98 is that it's blue mold resistant. And blue mold is a common mold that grows on the tobaccos, and it's wiped out entire crops.
Yes.
And so the Criollo 98 was developed to be resistant to that. And while it was being developed, it didn't lose any of its flavor.
No.
Or any of the intensity in the wrapper. It tends to be a stronger wrapper.
It's going to be medium to full.
Yeah, definitely medium.
For sure.
And so it's, a lot of companies use it. But Santiago Cigar Factory has been fortunate enough to get their hands on some excellent Criollo 98.
That again has to go to Jorgito, our master roller in the Dominican. We told him we wanted some, and that was about 2 years ago, and we're still going.
Keep talking.
Still
light up.
Well, just so everyone can see, this here is actually the Criollo 98 leaf. And as you can see, it's a pretty broad leaf. What you can't see through the video is it's actually a pretty thick, sturdy leaf. But the nice thing that I like about the Criollo 98 is you get that nice sweet finish reminiscent of the Pennsylvania broadleaf Maduro that we use. It's got that nice sweet aroma, and again, the thing about that aroma is it can fool people. The cigars smell a little sweet. People think it's going to be a light cigar, and it certainly isn't.
It's a little thick too.
Yes.
You don't have any of the thinness that you do with some of the other ones.
No, much easier for the rollers to work with than, say, the Connecticut shade-grown or the new wrapper we've gotten in recently, which is a shade-grown Sumatra grown in Indonesia. Those leaves are very thin, very delicate. Actually, the same with the Bazuki leaf.
Yes.
The thing that this wrapper has that the other ones we just were describing doesn't is it has its own oil still. Which not only helps with the body but also the flavor.
Some of the first non-Cuban Criollo leaf was actually grown in the Jalapa Valley in Nicaragua. And for you cigar smokers out there, you know that there's a very large amount of tobacco that is grown in that valley, and they produce a very wide range of wrappers and fillers, and they're used quite a bit in cigars. You may not hear about them because a lot of the tobacco might be a filler.
Yeah.
But the Jalapa Valley in Nicaragua, I mean, they're huge. Lots of companies have plantations in that area. And there was a time where lots of companies had their tobacco crops wiped out by blue mold. And the great thing, like I said, about the Criollo 98 is that doesn't happen with this. Now, you guys roll this in a couple of different sizes.
Yes, we have two standard sizes that we roll in year-round. One will be the Robusto, which is the 50 by 5 you see here. And the other size we carry year-round is the Toro, which is basically the same as the Robusto, just an inch longer. Seasonally, we will also introduce some different rolls. During the winter months and the deep fall months, we'll bring in some shorter rolls, like these ones here, which are 60 by 5s. We also do little torcaditos that will be a 52 by 4.5. Just to offer people in the Rochester area, obviously, a quicker smoke, because in about 2 weeks it's going to be 8 degrees outside and no one's going to want to smoke a whole cigar out there. So being that we are a manufacturing company, we're able to respond to our customers' needs by rolling some specialty blends and specialty sizes in the particular cigars seasonally.
Now tell me about your actual blend.
Without giving too much away about
Yes.
the blend, it's going to be a 3 separate leaf mixture in the filler with a different binder and a different wrapper. The filler is going to be a combination of Dominican Seco, Dominican Ligero, and Nicaraguan Ligero, which will give it that peppery, spicy kick at the end. The binder is just going to be our standard Sumatra binder. Doesn't do a lot to influence the body or the flavor of the cigar. It's just a very nice binder. And then obviously the final wrap is going to be the Criollo 98 leaf that we showed you. Blended to be medium to full. But to have a little bit of a sweet and peppery aftertaste to it. It's a pretty dynamic tobacco blend when you get right down to smoking it.
It is. I really enjoy this cigar. Now, how many, just holding up the leaf, as we talked about with the Pennsylvania Maduro, we know how many cigars you might get out of one of these. But how many, what do you think? 1, 2, 3 cigars
You're
out of one of
definitely
these?
going to get at least 2 cigars in the 60 ring gauge size, because once you devein it in the middle, you'll have each half to work with. And then depending on the size of the cigar will depend on how many cigars you get per half. In a 60 ring gauge, it's going to take all of that half leaf to wrap. When you get down into, like, say, the Torcadito size, or even in some of the Robusto sizes, if the leaf is big enough, you could get 2 cigars per side of those sizes. When you get into a 50 by 6 or a 60, pretty much by anything, you use up a lot of the tobacco just in the wrap. So that particular leaf, depending on the size of the cigars being rolled, will wrap between 2 and 4 cigars.
Okay, excellent. And now, as you hear, I mean, there's a good range in sizes that Santiago Cigar Factory does provide. And I like a thicker ring gauge. I like the 60s. And because you have a little more tobacco in this, it's a little, to me, it's a little stronger than these smaller ones.
Yes.
And I like a stronger cigar. This is probably right in the medium, the full wheelhouse.
Yeah, it wouldn't be quite what a full-bodied smoker would consider a full-bodied smoke, but it certainly would be still medium to a person whose preference was stronger. And then for a person like myself who likes a more mild to medium blend, it's a nice way of stepping up in body and having a flavor that's interesting enough for me to venture up in body.